John? Okay. Buenos dias, half day, tiro, faisho, toto marianas. Before we proceed with today's public hearing, I'd like to inform everyone who's here in the Senate chamber that this meeting is being streamed live for our viewing public on cable television channel 23, the legislature's Facebook page, and the Senate's YouTube channel. At this time, I would like to respectfully request for everyone in the chamber to please put your cell phone on silent mode. Thank you. It is my honor to welcome you all this morning. Thank you for joining the Senate Standing Committee on Resources, Economic Development, Programs, and Gaming. I am Senator Karina Magovnia from the 3rd Senatorial District and the chairwoman of this committee. I now call this meeting to order. Today is April 9, 2024 at approximately 10:13 a.m. here in the Senate chamber of the Honorable Jesus P. Sablon Memorial Building, Capitol Hill, Saipan. LA, Jolene, please call the roll.
Senator Francisco Cruz, Senator Judy Hochschneider,
Here.
Senator Karina Omagofnia,
Here.
Senator Donald M. Manglonia,
Present.
Senator Paul A. Manglonia.
Here.
Madam Chair, 4 members are present, 1 member is absent.
Thank you, LA. With 4 members present, we meet the necessary quorum to conduct today's meeting. Also, let the record reflect that Senator Cruz is hereby excused. Before we move to the next item on the agenda, I would also like to recognize the Legislative Bureau staff who are here assisting us this morning. Our legal counsel, Antoinette Villagomez, our legislative assistant, Ms. Jolene Duenas Tagabuel, our Sergeant at Arms, Benjamin Terlahi, and our IT manager, Jonathan Diaz. Moving on to the next item on the agenda is the adoption. Can I please get a motion to adopt today's agenda? Thank you. A motion has been offered and seconded. All those in favor say aye. All those say opposed say nay. Motion carries. The agenda for this meeting is hereby adopted. Thank you, members. We now move on to public comments. The floor is now open for public comments on the proposed lease agreement between DPL and Suaso Corporation. Anyone who wishes to provide comments, you have 7 minutes. Please keep your comments relevant to today's item on the agenda. We can start with comments from the general public, and from there we will move to invite the entities that were invited to provide comments today. Is there anyone from the general public who wishes to provide comments at this time? None? Okay. Let the record reflect. Oh, okay. Please come in. State your name for the record and the entity that you represent. And the floor is now open. Thank you.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of this committee. My name is Alex Sablon. I'm with TAN Holdings Corporation, also the Saipan Chamber of Commerce. I was able to provide public comments at the Department of Public Lands hearing on this Suasu Eland. Sorry, I don't know the actual corporation that you're running this under, but and so basically want to put in our support for this lease and the movement forward of this project. As I stated at the DPL hearing, you won't find another organization in the Commonwealth that is dedicated to the investment and operation of an hotelier and various other and sundry ancillary businesses that support tourism. Their dedication to bringing on 3 facilities in the Commonwealth, especially in this timeline, and pursuing aggressively a lease agreement with the fine people at DPL is commendable. I think as we've seen over the course of the more than a decade that they've been here in the Commonwealth, they've done what they've said they're going to do. I believe that they are very interested in continuing to pursue the effort of tourism, again, despite the conditions that we're dealing with today. As I mentioned at the DPL hearing, this organization has gone to the extent that other entities have had to do in this timeline, which is go and charter planes to bring the tourists here. Again, the conditions warrant that there needs to be a little bit of help provided to these airlines to guarantee their success, if you will. And so, we know that Eland has made that effort in the recent past, and will continue to do so, and as we try to bolster the Korea market into this region. Our own organization is trying to do the same thing. We're bringing back Asiana charters this in this period through the summer up to June. Depending on its success, we'll see how we can continue on with it. We're also working on the Hong Kong Airlines effort, along with STI, to see how we can bring tourists through Hong Kong and again try to bolster the numbers in this region. With only 2 flights each a week, it's going to be a difficult task. But and as a transit point, the tickets are costly, and so the success will really depend on the pent up demand by our tourists through Hong Kong. But we're highly enthusiastic in the idea of partnering up downline with Eland and many other organizations that will wish to again grow the business as we try to get past the current climate we're in. But again, Eland, based on their schedule, again, I think that plays out to the current conditions we have on the ground. So their building schedule kind of aligns with other leases that have recently been approved through DPL. I think we need to be patient as a Commonwealth, as we all have been, the general public, in seeing development of this project go forward. But again, I think the commitment you'll find no other organization as committed to, as Eland has been, and we're thankful that we have business partners in the region like them. And so I'd like to put our full support behind this lease and hope that the legislature also sees that effort. So thank you very much.
Mrs. Moss and Mr. Sablon, thank you. At this time, too, I would like to recognize the presence of our Senator, Ms. Selena Babauta, who chairs the EAGI and JGL. Thank you, Senator, for joining us. Next, oh, any other comments from the public? If there are none, we can move on to the next item. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry, Senator. Go ahead.
Sorry about that, Sandra. Thank you. For the record, my name is Selena Babata. I'm a member of the 23rd Senate and also a constituent of Precinct 1 here in Saipan, where this lease before you for Suwasu doing business as Coral Ocean Point is situated at. The only thing, I'm not against the renewal of the lease. However, I would like to ask this committee to please do their due diligence in making a proper assessment of the value contributed by Suwasu. Records reflect that their annual lease payment is only 156,000 annually. So in the 40 years that Suwasu has occupied the public land in um, the south, where they're situated at, their total dollar contributions in terms of lease payments is only $6 million, a little over $6 million. So I think in order to make a proper assessment of the value given to the CNMI government, I think it's appropriate that this committee asks Suwasu for all their contributions, including their BGRT, um, public benefits attributed to the government and the public, um, and any infrastructure costs they have incurred since the beginning of their lease. My understanding is that Suwasu promised 200 rooms when they were granted the lease initially. I'm not sure if that is correct or however many rooms they promised, but it's important to know the facts and see if Suwasu did in fact make good on their promise. And I thank the committee for doing their due diligence. Respectfully request that the contributions made to the government and to for public benefit be assessed by this committee. Thank you.
So just Masi, Senator Babauta, those are some very important and great points that you brought up, and we will definitely be requesting those information from DPL when we hold our committee meeting. Anyone else in the audience who would like to provide public comments? No? Okay. At this time, we will move on to the public comments to invite the entities that we invited to provide their comments. So we can start with DPL, Secretary Teresita Santos, please.
Good morning, Chairwoman Magofnia and the esteemed members of the Senate Committee on Resources, Economic Development and Programs, and distinguished guests out here in the gallery, including those that are listening through this platform. For the record, I'm Teresita Santos, the Secretary of the Department of Public Lands. And on behalf of DPL, I extend again our appreciation or our thanks for having this opportunity to orally present our testimonies concerning the lease agreement between the department and Sowatsu Corporation doing business as Coral Ocean Resort or Coral Ocean Point, as some, what is commonly calls it. A copy of DPO's cover letter supporting the proposed and negotiated new lease with Sowatsu Corporation has in fact been submitted to the Senate President, including you, Chair of REDP. This document underscores our favorable endorsement of this partnership, which is pivotal to the continued prosperity and sustainability of our NMDs and our community in here in the Commonwealth. So let us begin with the proposed renewal of this lease. It is for an initial 40 years with an option of 15 years extension, which would represent a significant commitment to our economic and cultural heritage. It ensures the continued operation of a key hospitality and recreation facility, providing substantial public benefits, including environmental improvements, beautification projects, educational support, and cultural promotions, totaling close to about 1.8 million. And all these public benefits or contributions have been enumerated in our cover letter to you, Chair. Additionally, a 25 million investment is planned for renovations and expansions, signifying a substantial contribution to our economy and community welfare. The benefits of renewing this lease are multi-sided. It saves time and money that would otherwise be spent on finding and negotiating with new lessees, particularly, which is a critical factor during these economic downturns. The renewal also prevents the loss of income from potential property vacancies, safeguarding against the financial burden of maintenance and security costs. Furthermore, by avoiding turnover costs associated with finding new investors and preparing properties for lease, we maintain the quality and value of our assets, ensuring ongoing revenue generation for DPO and by extension the CNMI. This has also been earlier echoed by Mr. Alex Sablan. The overwhelming community support, as evidenced during the public hearings conducted on all three senatorial districts, Saipan, Tinian, and Rhoda, and the positive feedback from the community members highlight the collective acknowledgement of Sowatsu Corporation's beneficial role in our community. This reinforces our belief in the mutual advantage of renewing this lease agreement. So in closing, the Department of Public Lands again appreciates the opportunity to express our support for this new lease, and we look forward to a committee meeting between DPO and Sowatsu or between DPO, Sowatsu, and REDP for a meaningful exchange on this subject, and confident that we have the knowledge that this lease will secure lasting benefits for our community, our economy, and our shared future. Again, thank you very much, the chair and the esteemed members of this committee.
Suzus Mossy, Secretary Santos. Yes, Ben, if you could please take that. Next, we would like to invite, actually, the mayor of Saipan did communicate with my office that they are not able to appear in person to provide their comments, but they will be submitting their written testimony to the committee. So at this time, I would like to invite the chairman for the Chamber of Commerce, Saipan Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Joe Guerrero. Thank you.
Hafidez and Tirawami. For the record, my name is Joe Guerrero. I serve as the president of the Saipan Chamber of Commerce, and thank you for this opportunity and invitation to appear before the committee. Jesus Masi, Chair Magofnia, and honorable senators, committee members. The Saipan Chamber of Commerce and Hanmi recently wrote a letter of support that I believe was submitted to the committee, and I'm here today to uh, reiterate and express our full support for this new lease for Sawasu Corporation. The chamber, again, is a collective of over 120 members representing a diverse group of businesses and nonprofits as well. On their behalf, we're very grateful that the committee is looking at the proposed lease before you, and would like to ask for your full support. But if I may add some comments as well that were not cited in the letter. Suasu Corporation is the first resort that our visitors and returning residents see as the plane makes its way towards our runway, the Saipan International Airport. Whether you arrive by night and by day. And so I'm encouraged at their plans to improve and add rooms and beautify the area so that, as again, returning residents and tourists, it should be the first thing that they see. And so I'm glad that it will be new and improved in the years to come. Perhaps they would also consider uh, adding lights of some sort so that at night, as visitors land at night, it's against that first impression. And I hope that will add to the wow factor for beautiful islands. Uh, it's renewing a lease or entering a new lease for public land of this magnitude is very important sort of uh, measurement or signal for the business community, including potential new investors. Oftentimes, when you decide to invest, whether you're a local investor here like a Joten or Tan Holdings or Triple J, we often look to the government and sort of follow in sort of the actions that you take, and lease renewals again of this magnitude is very important. It means a lot to small businesses alike. When they see a lease extension, it gives them that confidence that say, okay, these things are in the right direction. I live in precinct 1 and I frequent Suwasu, so I'm excited that I'll have another place to dine and recreate in our area. And I also ask that Suwasu, as with the other hotels that recently renewed, do consider strongly employing people, our locals that live particularly in the area. I know Mayor Camacho took an initiative to try and promote local hiring for businesses within the different precincts. So I challenge Suwasu to seriously, hire as many residents from the Coblerville and surrounding areas. Again, Jesus Masio for this, and I'm open for any questions if you have any.
Suzus Mossy, Mr. Guerrero, for providing your testimony. Members, did you have any questions for him? No? Okay, thank you so much. I okay, so that completes the portion of our, sorry, of our public comments. And if there are no other comments that would like to be provided by the public comment portion is now closed. Uh, Before we move into the next item on the agenda, which is the adjournment, members, I did say that we will find a date and a time to meet, to call a committee meeting so that we can invite DPL and um, Core Ocean Point to start our Q&A session, and address some of the concerns or comments that we received from today, and also just in reviewing the proposed lease agreement. So I did speak briefly with the secretary of DPO this morning regarding scheduling, and she is respectfully requesting if we can meet next week. So um, I guess what is are you guys available next? Well, we have EAGI Monday. How's Tuesday of next week?
I know I'll be in Rhoda. I think right next week is our I'll be in Rhoda next week. Maybe towards the end of the week I'll be here.
So towards the end of the week?
Yeah.
So Thursday or Friday?
Thursday it's good for me. I don't know.
So Friday, Senator Jude. Friday, Secretary?
Yes, the Director Pat and I will be on both Monday through Wednesday because at the invitation of the chairperson of PUTC, and so either Thursday or Friday.
Okay, so why don't we go ahead and schedule for Friday then? Morning, 10 o'clock is good? Okay, so the next committee meeting to discuss the proposed lease agreement and the comments provided today will be scheduled for next Friday, the 19th of April at 10 a.m. here in the Senate chamber. So if we're good with that, any other recognize Senator Paul?
Thank you, Chair. I know that we will be having that meeting, and at that point we can ask questions. But just so in preparation for that meeting, I want to ask the Suwatsu Corporation Group at that meeting. Maybe we can chat about helping our local farmers and advancing the agricultural aspect of to assist our local farmers. And I mentioned this in other public hearings regarding agricultural production in the CNMI. In particular, all of us, we I mentioned we always go to a buffet on Sundays and birthday parties during the week. And when we go to the restaurants, uh, they always offer you watermelon, honeydew, and melon, but we don't see any avocado or local mangoes or dragon fruit or otis and all that. And I know this might sound like a minor thing, but I think it can go a long way if for example you even work with our local farmers market, and so that we can all sell our fruits there and our vegetables, and then from there that's where the hotels can and the restaurants can get their local produce. So maybe in our upcoming meeting we can discuss that idea. And I appreciate because I want us to see that we make a difference, because when you go to a foreign country for vacation, you always appreciate when you see their local fruits. And do you begin to talk then about their landscape out there and their farming and all that, and so you appreciate the place. So I hope that in the next 55 years, this is for 55-year lease, and we also have the Rhoda Resort upcoming, and maybe Kingfisher in 5-6 years. All of these hotels, I think, public land leases, developers on these public land leases can, I believe, make a difference. And I'm not only targeting golf course and hotels. I hope we can also have a model for the local business establishments all over the island. I just um, I was just informed a couple of weeks ago that, for example, in Guam, they're buying all the calamansi from Rhoda. Every single calamansi that you can ship to Guam, they'll buy it. It's unfortunate that we have to ship it, but they're buying all their calamansi and the lemons. Imagine if we can do that for all the other produce. I know that we it can go a long way for our farmers. Um, Also, just to be think planning ahead, the local golfers, what kind of benefits and how do we get junior golfers to also maybe get some discounts in maybe that's in here, but I haven't looked at the fine details in here, but a program for our local young upcoming golfers, what kind of discounts they can get. And then I also want to ask about, are there any private land inside the 18-hole golf course? Because we are fortunate in Rhoda because public land almost 40 years ago, when they were gonna lease the Rhoda Resort, they uh, they make sure to land exchange all the private properties within the 18-hole golf course. Otherwise, today we'll be scratching our head because we cannot, after the last owner abandoning the resort, we probably cannot beat it out because there's a lot of private land owners owning properties in there. So I don't know if that's the situation with this golf course. I was hearing something that there are private lands in there. So maybe the thinking here is, we're gonna lease you this for 55 years. Can you work out something with those landowners, since you're gonna probably pay them something for the next 55 years? Why don't you work with DPL so that for an extra few dollars, some kind of consideration, we take that and give it to public land. So, 50 years from now, 55 years from now, we don't have that issue. It all becomes now public land. And maybe we can, when you pay them something for the next 55 years, the government can land exchange them for a lower appraised value, since you already pay them. So, like, working together so that we can get all that to be public land, not so that in the future we wouldn't be held hostage. I mean, if Rhoda Resort had private lands in there, and the present operator own leasehold interest on that one, they probably be holding DPL hostage. But it's fortunate that it's all government land. So that's something maybe late for this, but we can have this ongoing discussion with DPL, the private landowners, and Coro Ocean, Suwatsu, to somehow in the next few years land exchange them once and for all, get that to be all public land. So it would be easy to renew and do something with the land in the distant future. So, thank you very much. And for the general public, the hearing again today is on Suwatsuk Corporation, 55-year lease, because according to Public Law 20-84, they allow the legislature now for golf courses that are after 40 years of being leased. The legislature, pursuant to this law, can extend it for another 40 years plus 15 years. And so, if any member of the public out there listening to this hearing have any questions, I welcome their concerns prior to the meeting next Friday. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Suzus Masi, Senator Paul, those are some really great recommendations that you have. We will definitely discuss them, on our meeting next week, and that's definitely something that we can ask Core Ocean Point when they come in. Any other members? We're good.
Madam Chair, just
Recognize.
just one thing also I want to add. for DPL. I know that we're all in support of the extension, from what we're hearing, with some concerns here and there. But I want to know from DPL, in the future, uh, what should we do with a property, 200 hectares, for example, 100 hectares, whatever, um, to be able uh, to offer not only to the existing investor, for other investors. I mean, I'm thinking of this like it's my house, right? And I lease my house for 55 years, and then my grandchildren, after 55 years, do they have to lease it to the same lessee there, or can they open it to the mark to the outside world and say, this is now my house, and it's available, anybody has a good offer? I know that the circumstances are different today, the economy is different, but I'm just wondering if that's something to explore and to think about, so that, and I'm not talking only about this lease, I'm talking about any public land property. Just if somebody's leasing it and they're up for renewal, that property is actually the government's, right? I mean, it's like we start anew. So what does the law say on that? Uh, do we have to announce it, advertise it to the world that this is available, or do we just deal with the present lesser, right? Or let's see. So I just want to, in our meeting with them, DPL, I want to ask them that concern. Jesus Masi.
Thank you, Senator Poe. And maybe that's something too that we can ask our legal counsel to verify and confirm your inquiry. So I would hope that DPL would come in with some answers regarding your questions. Any other members? We're good. Okay, moving on to the next item on the agenda is our adjournment. Can I please get a motion to adjourn this meeting? Thank you. A motion has been offered and seconded. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion carries. Today's REDP committee meeting is hereby adjourned at 10:44 a.m. To Zusmasi members, thank you.